arrested for stealing from the inn, which I thought I was doing in accordance with the rules, but I guess I wasn't. So anyways, we're back down here in Paws. And let's see who else we've got to talk to. You see a farm woman. She rubs her hands, which are covered with dirt and lines drawn by toil. My dreams have become reality. Thou art the Avatar, art thou not? I recognize thee immediately. What's your name? My name is Camille, Avatar. It is an honor to meet thee. What's your job? I run a small farm here in Paws with my son Tobias. I'm a widow. Tell me about your farm. I grow a few crops, especially carrots and wheat. That reminds me, this package needs to be taken to the mill today. If thou canst deliver it for me, Thurston will pay thee for it. Wilt thou? Sure. Be sure to take this to Thurston, the mill owner. He shall pay thee for thy trouble. What about your carrots? I believe my carrots are especially tasty. Would thou like to purchase some? They would only cost thee 1 gold for 3. No thanks. If that is thy wish, Avatar, but they are quite good. Tell me about your son. He's basically a good boy. He works hard and misses his father. What's Paws like? Life is hard here in Paws. It is a town of poor people with all the ill that poverty brings. At least the Fellowship brings us some relief. What do you think of the Fellowship? I'm not sure whether I trust the Fellowship. It has undoubtedly done some good things in this world, so it cannot be all bad. Or at least the people in it cannot be all bad. What are some of the ills that have befallen you? Recently our town has been plagued by a thief. A thief? Some silver serpent venom was stolen from the merchant Morphin who operates the slaughterhouse. And that's all you got. Okay. Is this your son? You see a sulking lad who doesn't seem to want to look you in the eye. Just what I need. Another Avatar, he mumbles under his breath. I'm Tobias. I suppose I'm to believe thou art someone important. What's your job? I'm too young to have a job. I just help my mother on the farm. What's your farm like? My mother grows grain. Surely thou canst find the farm. It is just north of the shelter. Tobias looks at you as if he thinks you are a bit dim. What shelter? It's a place just south of here. It's run by the Fellowship. And what do you think of the Fellowship? For the first time he looks you in the eye. I hate the Fellowship. The only other person in town my own age is that cretin Garrett, and it's all he ever talks about. He's always trying to convince my mother to join. He clenches his fists angrily. Please, do not mention them again. Tell me about Garrett. He's the only other boy in town anywhere near mine age. His parents do not want him playing with me because they think that associating with those kind of people will hamper his education or some such rubbish. I cannot stand the little bastard. Oof. And I hate the way he plays those stinking whistle panpipes. Tell me about the grain. She sells grain to Thurston the miller from time to time so that we may go to the pub or buy milk at the dairy every once in a while. But we usually just grow crops to keep ourselves fed. Dairy? The dairy is south of the shelter. Andrew, the man who runs the dairy, his father was friends with my father. Tell me about Thurston. He's one of the few people in town that I like. He's nice to us. Tell me about your mother. Her name is Camille. She speaks of thee, or rather she speaks of the Avatar, is what I meant to say. Some people in town think she's mad because she still believes in the 8 virtues. Thou hast already met her. The 8 virtues? My mother once took me to the shrine of sacrifice when I was younger. That was soon after my father died, so I don't remember it very well. I do not think it's there anymore, for she never talks about going back. I think that perhaps she does not want to mention it because there are so many in town who belong to the Fellowship, and because it makes her sad. Yeah, so what has been alluded to is that prior to the Fellowship coming into Britannia, the the main moral code and like governing ethos was the 8 virtues, which, if you played the previous ones, we go through a whole different series of adventures surrounding those 8 virtues, and it seems like we are now learning that as we're returning to Britannia, the 8 virtues have been pushed out by the Fellowship. Let's not ask about the Fellowship again. Tell me about this avatar. Art thou truly the avatar? Yep. Thou art no avatar. Tobias frowns. Know anything about the thief? There is a thief running free in Paws. He stole silver serpent venom from Morphin, owner of the slaughterhouse. No one knows who he is. They're trying to get your mother to join the Fellowship? Those bloody Fellowship people know that everyone is never more than a meal away from being penniless. They say that they want us to join immediately because the shelter is intended to help only Fellowship members. If we ever need to live there, they may have to turn us away in favor of other Fellowship members. Anything else you want to tell me about the Fellowship? For the first time, he looks you in the eye. I hate the way he did that already. Okay. Bye-bye. Be on thy way then, O great and wise Avatar. I really am the Avatar. Salty Dog, register. Adam of You has stayed here. The Avatar. That's not me, so there has been another Avatar around here. Jalal of Britain, Tim of You, Blorn of Vesper, Sir Dupre, that's a familiar name, and Penelope of Cove. Okay, I think we got everything we can get out of there. Let's see who's in here. You see a man whose eyes slowly shift back and forth as a crooked smile curls his lips. He walks up to you, looks you up and down. Oh, there must be a traveling show in town, he says, sniggering. That is a very nice clown costume. Who art thou? I'm the Avatar. Thou art a vile fool, desperate for others to like thee. I would pity thee, were it not that I loathe thee even more. Looks like someone's been, giving me a bad rap. Greetings, my lord, says Morphin. Can you apologize? I do apologize for my rudeness earlier, my lord. I have since realized that thou art an honest person. Please forgive mine insults. He bows, dripping with insincerity. Okay, what's your name? My name's Morphin. What's your job? I'm a merchant who operates one of the most thriving businesses in Paws, which includes the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse? I take it thou hast noticed the smell? If so, I do apologize. He shrugs his shoulders, grinning, and holds his palms upward. I think of it as the smell of success. Thou mayest purchase some meat if thou so wishest. What's it like in Paws? I do suppose my ventures are profitable enough for me to afford to move to Britain, but things are so much less expensive here. Of course, the theft has me a bit wary. If thou dost wish to know more about the people here, speak to the couple who run the Fellowship shelter, Feridwin and Britta. The theft? Thou art a stranger in Paws. Beware the thief who roams this town. The culprit has stolen a quantity of my valuable silver serpent venom. Tell me about the venom. A terrible crime, causing me no small amount of monetary distress. It has caused the surrounding community to worry about their possessions as well. I would be thine humble servant shouldst thou help investigate the matter. Wilt thou? Yeah, sure. Then I shall cooperate fully, my lord. He bows. You said you're a merchant? Oh, I sell a little of this and a little of that here and there. Wherever there is a demand, I try to supply it. You supply? I keep a small stock of silver serpent venom from time to time, which I sell to the apothecary in Britannia for a modest profit. Okay, noted. The government is trying to control sales of it until they can determine how dangerous the effects are. The effects? They are widely known. Silver serpent venom is a reagent that, when ingested in small doses, temporarily enhances one's physical strength, stamina, and quickness, along with bringing a feeling of euphoria. After the effects wear off, the subject feels quite drained. This tends to make them want to take it again. Prolonged use in such a fashion will bring about a condition that deteriorates the skin, eventually causing it to rot away. Finally, too great a dose or too great an accumulation of doses is fatal, as the venom is a deadly poison. It may very well have some healing properties when used in other ways we have yet to discover, but any user of the venom should not do so without caution. User? I do not believe I have noticed anyone in town who is showing the symptoms of venom use. From now on I shall keep watch, so thou shouldst ask again later. Tell me about the apothecary in Britain. His name is Kessler. Okay. And demand? There is quite a demand for the venom of the silver serpent in certain areas, for instance. Okay. Good day to thee. Let's see if we can unlock that door. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like that needs a key. Strange, that did not work. Usually that's what it means when you actually need a key. And maybe I'm not allowed to take items even if I'm just putting them on my person when the NPC is in the room. Maybe that's the rule, and that's where I messed it up. I don't remember. So I'm going to leave that meat for now, because I don't want to go back to jail and have to deal with that again. Hello. Curious knickknacks, trinkets, antiques. You see an old woman who gives you a smile of grandmotherly sweetness. You can see immediately that her vision is poor. Hello. My name is Beverly. And what's your job? Why, I run the House of Items here in Paws. House of Items? It is a shop that sells antiques and previously used items. Running this shop allows me to remain youthful and active. It is heartening to sell things to the poor people of this town that they might not otherwise be able to afford. That's nice. Tell me about the town. Here in Paws, the people have very little money, but it matters not because they care for each other. That's nice. What sort of things are you selling? There are many rare and fine things to be bought here in my shop. Bargains to be had nowhere else in all of Britannia. Such as, let me see, there is a cradle for sale, a rocking horse, a bell, an hourglass, a spittoon, a lute, a sextant. Since I am moving a bit more slowly these days, I let my customers help themselves and take what they have bought, providing they pay me first, of course. I do trust folks to pay me the correct amount. I am nearly blind, I am afraid. I don't want to buy any of those things. And that's all. Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Beverly. A good day to thee, my lord. Empty chest. I mean, we wouldn't really steal from the blind old lady who gives to the poor, would we? That looks like silver serpent venom. I'm not going to answer that question. It was rhetorical. You see a beggar. You cannot tell from the look on his face whether he is about to laugh or cry. My name is Fen, my lord. Kind of feel like a jerk asking this, but do you have a job? He looks away from you shamefully. I have none, my lord. None. I used to be a farmer in more prosperous times. I used to work with Colmore and Merrick. Colmore. He's my best friend and the bravest man I know. Oh, please, thou art making mine eyes leak. Merrick. Merrick joined the fellowship so he could live in their shelter, the poor sod. Their shelter? If thou art so unfortunate as to want to live there, thou wouldst do better on the corner with Colmore and I. The corner. Even when pockets are light, there is still some mercy left in this world. Begging for money is not a proud profession, but there are worse ones. Such as? At least we don't have to do what Merrick does. He recruits for the fellowship. Sounds like you don't like them. If the Fellowship truly wants to help people, why would they let us starve just because we do not want to join? They cannot answer that one. That's a good point. Do not worry, we shall not starve. Camille sends her son to buy us with food and clothing for us every so often. So, the people that aren't part of the Fellowship seem to be the most giving. Because I don't think Camille and Tobias have a lot of food either. Well, you tell me about that. Camille is a good woman. She lives at the farm bordering the dairy. And her son? He's a fine lad, always willing to give us a hand, unlike that rude urchin Garrett. Oh yeah, Garrett. He's the son of Ferdwin and Britta, who run the shelter. Garrett crosses the road to avoid us. We would not want the likes of him walking down our side of the road anyway. Do you know anything about the thief? Be wary, for there's a thief in this town. Some silver serpent venom was stolen from the merchant Morphin, who runs the slaughterhouse. Give? Wilt thou give me a bit of money? Sure. How much? 5. Thank thee, my lord. Okay, bye-bye. Good fortune to ye, my lord. You see a beggar leaning on a crutch. His eyes shine like diamonds with sheer bitterness. You must be Comor. My name is Comor. Job. I'm a dancer, my lord. He cannot keep a straight face and almost falls off his crutches. Ha 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 ha! Ripe one, Comor. So you're a beggar. I was not always a beggar. Like Fen and Merrick, I used to be a farmer too, but times got worse. And times are always bad in Paws. Let's try giving you money first. Yes, I will. Thank thee, my lord. Let's see if I don't think that opens up any other dialogue options, but let's give it a try. Paws is a veritable wonderland, is it not? Excuse me. Tell me about Merrick. A royal rotten egg he is. Merrick turned his back on us and now spends each night in a warm, cozy bed, which is more than either one of us have had for some time. Merrick sleeps in the shelter run by the Fellowship. They feed him too. He had to join before they would help him. Tell me about the shelter. The shelter? 'Tis the large building filled with fawning hypocrites. Thou should have little trouble finding it. Tell me how you really feel. He turned his back on you? The only thing worse than this miserable existence is having Merrick sniff around and try to recruit us, the bloody parasite. And tell me about Fen. Fen and me are chums and will be to the day we die. We share in each other's vast expanses of wealth. Ha ha ha! Thy wit thou shouldst be on stage. With thy wit thou shouldst be on stage. Yeah, verily, Fen and I share all that we own, which in its totality is the clothes on our backs and the snot in our throats. But you're chums. Fen and me have been friends since we were little tiny babes. I would bet that thou dost not think we would end up like this, eh, Fen? Not in the I guess they have the same voice. Not in the wildest dreams, Comor. And the Fellowship. We could have joined, but they are a foul lot. Anybody acting so bloody nice must be up to no good. There are some compromises we will not make, even to survive. Alright, well, good luck. Hold thine head high, my lord. Thank you, I believe I shall. Went down here, that's the shop, that's the slaughterhouse. This takes us back around to the inn. I think this is the dock. This must be the mill, and we have something to deliver to Thurston, who is not here. So let's see what he's got. Spent light source, dried meat. We don't need the dried meat. This looks locked. It is. Let's see if we can pick it, or if it needs a key. Pick broke. Pick broke. I think if it breaks twice in a row, it also... Oh, no, I was wrong. Maybe it's 3 times. And there's nothing in there. Womp womp. Where is Thurston? Oh, and we missed a building. Maybe he lives here. There's some meat, which we will take. Locked. Keep Britannia clean. Send the gargoyles back? Paid for by the Britannian Purity League. Ugh, that sounds gross. Let's see what's in the chest. Oh, what's that? A key. I guess it's not for that chest. Okay, I don't... Looks like that also needs a key. And this didn't work? Alright, so that opens something. I know we couldn't get into the back room of the slaughterhouse. Does Morphin live there? He does, so that was Morphin's house. Locked chest. Let's see if this works first of all. Does not. Let's see if we can pick it. I don't think so. No. See if we can break it. Let's get a better angle here. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to work. Okay, maybe the key's in here. Two-handed axe, we don't need that. Relax, we're just moving things around. Interesting. Okay, well I don't actually know how to get that. Maybe we'll figure it out, but maybe we won't either. Anyways, let's keep exploring and figure out what's going on. Is Thurston back? He is not. He's probably at the inn. Hello. You see a cheerful, handsome young man who gives you a friendly wave as you approach. What's your name? My name is Andrew. How art thou, my lord? Job. I'm the owner and proprietor of the dairy here in Paws. Tell me about Paws. Of course, everyone is up in arms about this business concerning the missing venom. Yeah, do you know anything about that? Be wary, for there is a thief in this town. Some silver serpent venom is stolen from Morphin. What's Morphin like? He bought the slaughterhouse a few years ago, soon after he joined the fellowship. I knew the previous owner. And what were they like? I was just a lad when I first saw the old slaughterhouse. The old man who owned it even showed me the storeroom in there once. The door to it is locked. I think Morphin has the key somewhere in his house. Oh, does he? We don't know anything about that. Tell me about your dairy. Yes, I sell milk and cheese. Thou mayest find the dairy between Camille's farm and the slaughterhouse. These are probably just buying props. Yeah, I don't want to buy anything. What's the slaughterhouse like? The slaughterhouse is run by Morphin the merchant. He's always busy, coming and going at all hours, sometimes carrying things. Ooh, sounds sneaky. What's Camille like? Camille is a good woman. She's still an advocate of the old virtues. She runs the farm by herself. Well, with the help of her son, Tobias. And what's Tobias like? A rather defensive young lad. I cannot say that I know that much about him. You know anything about the venom? It could be hidden anywhere. With all the trade that occurs in this town, it would be easy to hide. I do not know much else about the substance. Perhaps Morphin himself might know, would know what kinds of effects it might produce. Okay. I hope of some assistance to thee, my lord. You weren't really. Let's see what you got. That must be milk. I don't need your bread and cheese. I don't need your stinking bread and cheese. Ooh, this looks like the shelter. You see a small man with a twisted, sloped posture. He looks you up and down before deciding he will speak to you. I had gotten word that thou wert coming to our town. I've been expecting thee. I must admit, though, that I find it difficult to believe that thou art truly the Avatar. Who are you? My name is Feridwin. And tell me about your job. I run the Fellowship shelter with my wife Britta and my son Garrett here in Paws. What's Paws like? As this is a small town with few privileges and little privacy, our family has come to know everyone in Paws quite well. Is there someone thou dost wish to hear about? I'm well acquainted with these people. Yeah, let's start with the beggars. I mean, they have names. Oh, them. Comor and Fen. Feridun rolls his eyes. Yeah, Fen. Fen is a beggar who refuses all aid from the Fellowship. A pathetic case. Not even his former friend Merrick can reach him anymore. What about Comor? Comor is the most hateful man I have ever met. He is a bundle of bitterness. In all the time I've known him, Comor has never spoken a word to me that was not, at best, a thinly veiled insult. Shelter residents. Our residents include Alina and her child, and Merrick. Yeah, let's talk about Merrick. A splendid example of the Fellowship turning someone's life around. Presently he resides in our shelter. What about Alina? Her husband is currently in Britain somewhere. I do not know the details. She has a small child. Okay. What about the farmers? That would be Camille and her son Tobias. Yeah, what's Camille like? She seems nice. She's a sad woman, a widow, who is living in the past. 'Tis a pity, really. Fortunately, her husband left her the farm, which does happen to turn a profit. What about Tobias? A local rascal. I normally would not allow Garrett to associate with such a troublemaker, but the Fellowship has taught me to be a tolerant parent. Besides, associating with my son might do the lad some good. Who knows? Ugh. Let's talk about your son. Thankfully, we have been able to raise our son properly by emphasizing the teachings of the Fellowship. Garrett shall not be trapped in the poverty of his surroundings. He shall be intellectually, spiritually, and morally superior. He's talented, too. Talented? He plays the whistle panpipes extremely well for a lad his age. Britta and I are very proud. He could probably attend the music hall in Britain when he's older. Ooh. Tell me about Britta. A wonderful woman, thou shouldst meet her. Mine husband is such a flatterer. The truth is that our work for the Fellowship has brought us closer together. The merchants? They would be Morphin, Andrew, Thurston, and Beverly. Beverly, she seems nice. She is nearly blind. She is a nearly blind elderly woman who runs the antique shop on the east side of the river. And Thurston? Thurston owns the mill. He could do better if he ran his business with more of an eye towards profit. Andrew? Andrew is such a happy young man, he doth not notice the myriad of personal problems that he is afflicted with. So he's so happy. I guess that's just ignorance is bliss? Is that what you're trying to say? And Morphin. Morphin is a clever and industrious member of the Fellowship. He runs the local slaughterhouse and is also a snake venom merchant. Tell me about the snake venom. Morphin, the local merchant, informs me that a quantity of his silver serpent venom was stolen. The thief is still at large, so be wary. Of course, I do not know why anyone would want that vile substance. It is surely not good for one's health. Did I ask you about the shelter yet? No. This is the only place in all of Britannia designed for the aid and care of the poor. It is hard work, but then one strives to be worthy of that which we wish to receive. And tell me about the fellowship. Wouldst thou like to join? No. Thou dost not yet comprehend how much thy life could be improved through the guidance of the fellowship. Okay, that's enough. Mayst thou walk with the fellowship. Okay, and I think that's a good place to end it before we try to wrap up the Thief in Paws. So we'll do that next time. Stay tuned.